You guys into acting?
Take the reins on this one.
I think it's actually very much similar to what you were just saying. Like, I think it's like, you know, I think for a long time, I was always kind of like into it. Like, when I was like 4, I went to preschool dressed up every day as a different character. You know, I was that kind of doing little shows for my family, sort of like classic story, you know. But I think what I'm finding, the more that I'm doing it, is it's about exactly what you were just talking about, Like, instead of adding on all these layers, adding on all these techniques, actually stripping it all back.
Yeah.
Stripping it back to the simplicity of breath, the simplicity of the body, simplicity of childhood, the curiosity of, like, you know, making the world your playground, making the set or the stage your playground, you know? And for me, you know, it's like an opportunity for me to just kind of be like a giant kid who can play and explore things that... Also, what it is like, through acting, you get to explore the greatest depths of human experience, the greatest sorrow, the greatest ecstasy, you know, the most incredible, intangible kind of like spiritual epiphanies. Like,
you feel that afterwards?
Yeah, I mean,
after
it depends. I mean, if you got to do it 8 times a week, sometimes you're gonna feel it, sometimes you're not gonna feel it. That's what the craft is for, so that you can sell it.
So how do you get yourself out of that? Say you had a crazy role.
I don't know.
Fucked up role, smoking weed, stuff like that. How do you get yourself out? You know, there's one thing they say to be in the zone, right? Like, people who play sport, I'm pretty sure you know what I mean. Even in acting too. Like, you really get in.
Right.
Like, you forget. Yeah, so how do you get yourself out?
Well, I think it's like sort of speaking to what you were saying, like what that struck for me is like one of the best lessons about, you know, doing this craft is like, there's a lot more that unites us, all of us, than separates us. And a lot of experience, I mean, if someone can truthfully embody experience within a role, then it really just goes to show that we as humans, we have like an endless capacity for empathy. And we have an endless capacity to not only see people in a circumstance and feel for them, but also sort of acknowledge implicitly that it's only a set of circumstances that separates me from that person. If I was in those sets of circumstances, I would be that person as much as if they had my sets of circumstances, they would be me. Other than that, like the initial seed, the initial whatever, like whatever sprouts into who we are is I can't speak definitively because, you know, I haven't seen the other side or whatever, but like it is very, very similar.
Very.
And so in that sort of way of like acting as an acknowledgement of the unity of experience, I think that can help sort of like bring you out of a deep and like whatever headspace it is. It can be a very violent headspace. It can be like just a person who's very different than you are. But like we all have our own touchstones. We all have the things in our space and like the recognition in
the rocks in Central Park.
That remind us of who we are, you know? Like our egos are created out of like these collected identifiers, you know? And so it's just about like sort of, you know, putting up one coat on a hook and then putting back on the other.
And that's the thing with method acting. Like you can go really far into character and like whatever. Like Robert De Niro when he was like working on Taxi Driver, he becomes a taxi driver. You know, there's countless examples, whatever. And there's like validity to that. In that like there's validity to that. In that you know that leads to great performances. You're like embodying something that's so outside of yourself. But at the end of the day, it's also about like realizing that acting is like putting on a mask and playing pretend, and that, you know, you at the end of the day you take that coat off, you take that mask off, and you go about your
like your uniform.
Yeah, exactly.
Like your McDonald's uniform. You finish your job.
Because at the end of the day, it's your job. That's what, you know, as an artist, as a profession. At the end of the day, it's your job. You know.
And you also have to like, you know, take care of yourself as well as a person. It's like
mentally.
Yeah, mentally, because it's like there is a degree to which, like, you know, number one, like the sort of method acting horror stories that you hear, and like first, I think method acting is a sense like method, whatever that even means. It's like it's really important to like say if you are playing, you know, a taxi driver or a line cook or like something, or like someone with a very specific occupation that comes with a set of pressures and experiences that, you know, are very specific. You should, if you do not already have that in your like lifespan, like an experience that looks like that or is reminiscent of that you can draw on, it's important to be able to explore that. So you can give it like the reality that experience.
You can do that in so many ways.
Of course.
You can become that thing, or you can imagine you become that thing,
or talk to people.
Whatever works for you. You know.
Whatever it is, there's no one way.
It's like being in zone, like, you know, you imagine it and you acting it out.
Yeah.
So what makes you guys happy?
This conversation, you know, just like getting to sit on a rock and like, you know, there's nice breeze coming in. It's like moments where, honestly, like this feels like kind of a moment of reflection, you know, and like moments where you can just like breathe in between things, you know. Right now, it doesn't feel like I'm going anywhere or like I'm coming from anything. It just feels like I'm
The only way.
Where does your best come out of the two scenarios? Is it when you have money in your account you don't have, or it's just regardless whether I have money or not, I will go and show up and shine?
Yeah, I think you gotta just go and show up, you know, because it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, money is a safety net, you know.
Yeah.
That is like very like wonderful if people have it. More people should have just a safety net, period. You know, I think. But that's getting into a larger issue. But like at the end of the day, like if your confidence walking into an audition room or like into a rehearsal or callback or whatever it is, or you know, into a conversation with somebody, or like whatever it is, if your confidence is predicated on any outside
outcome
signifier, you know, whether it's predicated on how much money you have or how you look or you know who you know or whatever it is, then it's not actually based in what you can bring, you know. And like what's important is like, you know, and like we've been fortunate, we've done a lot of training and like we've gotten experience, you know, just auditioning, you know, so walking into the room, it's not like, you know, my first audition ever, but it's like, but of course the nerves arise, you know, and it's like, how do I, you know, enter that room grounded in in the worth of my own offer, you know, and it's going to be what it is, and if I don't get it, it's because I wasn't right for the thing, rather than because there's something terribly wrong with me. And I think like we're so
I don't believe that.
Yeah, of course, because it's
it's just that it's not just meant for you.
Yeah, it's just like another.
There's nothing wrong with you, man.
Take its place. And like,
do you guys get nervous? Do you guys get nervous when you audition?
Oh,
how do you do you drink?
No. Like honestly, I think it's helpful to use it. You know, like to allow those kind of nerves and that energy to go into the energy of the performance.
Wow.
You know, like for this character, the opening beat is, you know, he's like very nervous about something.
Wow.
So you know, that's actually kind of a treat because it doesn't matter how nervous I am because I can use it as long as I can use it productively and it doesn't like hinder me. You know.
Wow. You get nervous too?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think everybody gets nervous. It's like, and I think an interesting thing, I forget who said it, like someone in the last few months mentioned that like nervousness, excitement are sort of like the same feeling of anticipation, but in a different place. And sort of like, I mean, whenever we do anything, like there's a sense of anticipation. Like,
of course.
When you hold out your camera to start recording us, like there's like this feeling of like, oh, I'm about to say smart thing.
Yeah.
And so it's like there's always like this. We're always anticipating something.
I usually feel that when I'm to do like a presentation, public speaking.
Yeah. And so it's like turning that like out, like alchemizing that nervousness into like, as Jackson said, like there's always like. Usually, I can't say always, there's usually going to be some emotion that you can funnel that same feeling into. Because like, there's like as much as a connection there is between us and each other, you know, there's a connection between all of our emotions. They're different points on a scale rather than like, you know, different things entirely. You know?
To be honest with you, I can't wait to see you guys on the big screen. And this... I'm gonna keep this.
Maybe this is
I'm gonna say NFT. NFT. Jackson and Mikhael. I have this tape. If you want it, $1 million.
Okay, gotcha. Watch it back and pick only the parts where I sound really smart.
Pick the highlights.
To be honest with you, it's been a nice, you know, conversation with you guys, man. Just relax. Whoever gets the role, it's like a stepping stone to the other guy. Just have faith in God, and you know, it will work out fine for you guys. And to be honest with you, I feel like two of you have the advantage. It's other people, they by themselves, But two of you, two people, like they always say, two heads is better than one. So you go, trust me, one out of the two of you will get the role.
We make together, we're creators together.
Okay.
You know, we're starting a production company together.
Oh, okay.
You know, we, I think, specifically with Mikhael, something that I value about you is that you really do lift me while you're going up, and I know that I do. Like, you know, if one of us is struggling, the other's gonna, you know, reach out a hand.
Wow.
And I have complete faith in that.
Wow.
And so even in a circumstance like this where we're competing against each other, you know, we're here at the park just, you know, taking in nature.
Yeah.
And it's like, and also it's like, you know, obsessing over like what someone else has versus what you have. You only ever have what you have, you know? And when a casting director casts someone else over you, it's not because of you, it's because of them. You know? They had something that was right for that role.
Them,
And like, you know, if Jackson gets this role, I'm gonna expect a really nice fit. but you know, it's like at the end of the day, it's not
a win-win
like there was
for
anything
both.
wrong with me. It's because Jackson was right, you know, for it, you know. And like, and my thing will come down the line, and his thing will come down the line, and if we support each other through that, we will actually have the ground underneath us for you know, the eventual rejection.
Go get the role. At least once you get the money, we have the money to start our production company.
Exactly.
Yeah. So just have faith, relax, go and kill it, like they always say.
Thanks.
It's been nice. It's been wonderful talking to you guys. What's you guys you have Instagram, or if you want to shout yourself out, I don't mind.
Jackson Ike. E-I-C-K.
Yeah. What about you?
Mikhael GB, Mikael GB.
Peace out, brothers.
Peace.
Stay blessed. Thank you so much.
I